Hi, I'm Thomas Kotcheff, and I'm sitting down today with Gloria Cheng, PianoSpheres core artist, to talk about her program, My Windows Chinese Composers in America. This is a really, really cool program. How did it come together, Gloria?
Thanks for doing this. It's really sweet of you. Um, this was originally a program that I had intended to bring to China for two festivals that I had been slated to play in June. And so in normal times, my PianoSpheres program would have been the third or fourth time that I'm playing this set of repertoire. As it is, this will be my first time bringing this program out. My idea was to bring US-based composers of Chinese descent to China, because I'm not sure that there's that much communication back and forth. I believe in the case of Gu Ganru and Zhou Long, they do have maintained close ties to China, and their work is performed there quite a lot. In the case of Zhou Zheng, who was the master teacher who came here in the 40s, worked with Varese and very much taken under the wing of Nicholas Slonimsky. Zhou Zheng is responsible for having brought over a first generation of Chinese composers in the 70s and the 80s, and those include Ganru and Zhou Long and Chen Yi, who's not on my program, but Chen Yi, of course, is married to Zhou Long. So that was the idea, to bring to China composers who have the soul of China in their DNA, and to show them what kind of work they're doing over here.
Fantastic. And is there any musical connections you hear in their actual pieces?
Well, they're all very diverse, but that's one of the things I wanted to find out. That when you have some of those sounds in your ear to begin with, as do my parents were very close friends with someone who was a star of Peking opera. I heard many of those sounds also while I was growing up in New Jersey. So much of it feels deeply familiar to me, and yet not, because I am completely American. I would say that one strand going through a number of the pieces is the sound of bells. And I remember specifically in the case of Gu Ganru's piece, which I've been playing for a long time. It's called Guyue, and it means ancient music. And I'm doing just one of his four movements called Gong. And I remember practicing that back in New Jersey when my father was still alive. And it was one of the very few times that he wandered downstairs while I was practicing to offer a comment. And he just said, it's too fast. It's too fast. I said, what do you mean? And he said, well, it should sound like temple bells being heard across the mountaintops. And it needs more time to travel in the air. So I took that to heart, and it actually made a huge difference. Huge difference.
That's a great comment. I love that comment. So the oldest piece in the program is the Chu Wen Chung piece. Tell us more about this piece.
Again, it is very, it's called The Willows Are New, and it's based on a very old piece of poetry. It's not exactly light and streaming brook and willows. It's rather based in the lower register of the piano, again emulating the sound of gongs to me. And so playing it, when one regards the actual notation of the piece, I realized that I actually didn't want to do clean pedal changes and all those kinds of things that we're supposed to do as pianists. I felt like the sound should, again, sort of like what my father was saying, that they needed time to blur a little bit together. I think it's very much at the basis of the sound of the piece.
And the youngest composer in your program would be Gloria Cheng, is that correct?
Yeah, I would say so.
So we're seeing quite a large timeline of Chinese American composers. How would you comment on Gloria Cheng's voice in that kind of trajectory?
Well, her piece also very much harkens to the Chinese in her blood. The piece is called Northern Lion versus Southern Lion, or Southern Lion versus Northern Lion, something like that. So based on the lion dance, the big giant dragons that you see during Chinese festivals. And it's a rather, it's kind of a depiction of these kind of growling beasts who are vying for dominance and engage in a bit of a duel and preen and wait for the right moment. It's a very suspenseful and very exciting, colorful piece.
Fantastic. Is there anything else you want to add about the program or about any other composers you're performing?
Well, let's see. We've mentioned Ganru. We've mentioned Zhou Wencheng. So Zheng Huang, again, someone who came to China as an adult, endured the Cultural Revolution over there, and she wrote a piece that was actually part of a Beethoven 250th observation. It was commissioned by the pianist Suzanne Kessel, and the title of the piece is A Flowing Brook in Yunnan, and it's almost a love. It's a love letter to China, as is Zhou Long's piece Piano Bells. Very, very much indebted to Chinese, the Chinese scales, the Chinese harmonies, Chinese folk tunes, that as well, very much of the Chinese character, I'd say. Wang Lu and Anthony Cheng. Wang Lu, again, also born in China, Anthony born here in San Francisco. They wrote a piece together for a project by the pianist Joel Fang. He was commissioning husband-wife composer teams to write pieces together. So their piece called Recombinant, I love the title, is based on a shared motive, although you may not actually pick it up. You may not actually hear the relationship. The two pieces are extraordinarily different from each other. Wang Lu's is just very romantic in character, maybe because she was leading up to the piece by Anthony. And Anthony's piece is replete with his love and great ability as a jazz pianist himself. Tons of bebop, post-bop, very much, lots of Charlie Parker and lots of Coltrane in the motives.
And also, one of my favorite composer performers, Phyllis Chen.
Of course. She wrote a piece for toy piano, and I thought that having a little toy piano piece would add some color to this program. It's a deeply passionate piece that almost defies the idea of it being for toy piano, but it's I feel like my feelings about the piece are somewhat like the toy piano that could, because it rocks.
Well, I am really looking forward to this concert. My Windows, Chinese Composers in America. It is streaming on December 1st. Thank you, Gloria, and we really look forward to hearing this performance. Thank you.
Thank you.